I'm Caitlin V, and I'm here to tell you that your woman is a sex freak. Or at least she could be. And I'm going to show you exactly how to get her there. As a sex and relationship coach, I have worked with countless couples towards unleashing some white-hot, mind-blowing, seriously freaky sex lives. And if there is one thing I've learned about women, it is this. If a woman is conservative in bed, meaning she's like a little timid and not interested in trying new things, 9 times out of 10, that means there is something stopping her from getting there. Yeah, I said it. There is a little sex freak in there. You just have to know how to coax her out. And the secret to doing that is the exact opposite of what you think it is. So listen up, because in this video, I'm going to share with you exactly what you need to do and what you can expect along the way, including breakdowns, which are going to happen in this process. Before I dive in, I do want to acknowledge that there are people out there who are asexual or really just like not that interested in sex at all. If this is you or your partner, just know that the only person who gets to define a successful and fulfilling romantic partnership is you. Your desires, or lack thereof, are totally valid. But having said that, the majority of the time, it's not that her desires aren't present, it's just that y'all are disconnected from them. So how do we reconnect her to her inner freak? Let's just dive on in. Number 1, ease her into pleasure. Connecting a woman with her inner sex freak is actually about, you guessed it, way more than just sex. It's about connecting her to the part of her that craves pleasure in all its forms. So if your goal is to get her to really open up and indulge between the sheets, a good place to start is outside of them. And here's why. Women feel a lot of pressure to perform and to please. Guys, you feel this too. Often though, for women, we are so busy trying to please everybody else that we get totally disconnected from our own pleasure. And if you're being serious about bringing the wild side out of your woman, the first step is to show her that you are invested in her pleasure, especially outside of the bedroom. And how do you do that? Ease her in by pleasing her in ways that are not sexual. And I'm going to give you some ideas here, but do know that pleasure is subjective. So what gives me pleasure may not give her pleasure, may not give someone else pleasure, may not give you pleasure. You really have to study the person who you are trying to please and then deliver pleasure accordingly. So here's some ideas. Try giving her presence and quality time. Touch her lightly all over her body and without any agenda. Play with her hair while she watches her favorite show. Feed her a decadent meal with or without forks. Give her a nice massage. Light candles. Run her a hot bath. Watch my video series on the erotic blueprints if you just want to generate some ideas on how she might experience pleasure in ways that may feel very different than any kind of pleasure that you have ever indulged in. Not only does you doing this send her the clear message that you care about her pleasure, but it also goes a long way towards making her horny in general. If you've watched my videos on foreplay, then you know that it actually starts way before the clothes start coming off. Think of connecting to non-sexual pleasure as a way to actually rev her up for sexual pleasure. Trust me, these moments of non-sexual pleasure and connection truly add up. And even though you may not see it right away, she will know. And she will remember them the next time that she's thinking about jumping into bed with you to try something new. Number 2, learn her erotic blueprint. As important as non-sexual pleasure is when it comes to building a hot sex life, I mean, I'll be honest, a decadent cake is only going to go so far towards eroticism, okay? Even if you baby bird it directly into her mouth. Into my mouth, that would work for me. Our erotic preferences are wildly diverse. While one woman might want sweet nothings whispered into her ear, another may find that a good flogging with a ball gag is actually the ticket. If you really want to let her loose in the bedroom, it is crucial that you find out what turns her on. And here's the wildest thing about that. She may not, in fact, she probably does not know the answer herself. So you're going to have to experiment a lot to figure it out. And one of the easiest ways to get to the bottom of that and figure out even where to begin in your experimentation is the Erotic Blueprints. So once you learn her erotic blueprint, you will have an easy and eye-opening way to categorize and learn more about exactly what arouses so that you can achieve maximum pleasure. The Erotic Blueprints were developed by my mentor Jaya, and they have helped countless couples and individuals get in touch with their erotic desires on a whole new level. I have an entire video series on the subject, tons of information on them available. Check out the links below, but know that in a nutshell, there are 5 erotic blueprints. They're sort of erotic languages, and they're called energetic, sensual, sexual, kinky, and shapeshifter. And once you figure out which one of these she is, or which one is dominant and which one is her go-to, you'll know exactly what to do. And just as importantly, you'll know what not to do to get her turned on. Number 3, discover her shame. My third tip for unleashing her inner sex freak is so important, and yet so many men forget all about it. For a lot of people, both men and women, shame is our biggest obstacle to erotic freedom. I mean, the truth is many of us live with some feelings of shame and embarrassment, especially around our sex and eroticism. We may feel ashamed of our bodies, of our sexual preferences, of the face that we make when we are about to come. And then, if you're a woman, you can also throw in centuries of cultural messaging that tells us that we're either too sexual or not sexual enough, we're too fat or too skinny, or boobs and butts are too big or too small, we're too loud or we're too timid, we're too prude or we're too slutty. You get the drift. I mean, we're basically balancing on a tiny little razor's edge at all times, trying not to be too anything. And that is a lot to contend with. And you bet your ass that those things are deeply ingrained and bring out shame and inadequacy, which kills our lady boners left, right, and center. The thing about shame, though, is that it can be healed. And if you've got a woman in your life, well, you, my friend, can be a part of the healing solution. It's going to take time, but it starts with having open and honest conversations about your shame and insecurities. I mean, can you be with your own shame? That's kind of vital for being able to hold space for hers. Share things about each other's shame triggers. What causes things to come up for you? What are the obstacles that you feel you should or shouldn't do that get in the way of having a great time and actually being able to let loose and therefore let that sex freak out? Learning how to navigate and hold shame with your partner is one of the most caring, most loving things that you can do for them. If you handle her shame with respect, and better yet, if you show her the things that you find beautiful underneath whatever she's ashamed of, she will find herself much more comfortable letting loose with you. You've heard me say it before, and if you haven't, well, it might be time for you to subscribe to this channel, because safety is the foundation of pleasure. And if you make even the darkest parts of her feel seen and accepted, she will allow herself to let go, because she'll know that she's in a safe space with you. Which brings me to number 4. Take it slow. Take it slow, take it slow, take it slow, 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 even slower. How slow? As slow as it takes. Understand that the things holding us back from experiencing wild, no hold barred pleasure time take time to unravel and to heal. And if you're expecting your partner to go from missionary in the dark to bondage and dirty talk right away, well, I hate to break it to you, but you are gonna be disappointed. Good things take time. Healing takes time. Working your way to your full pleasure potential is worth the wait. If you want to unleash her inner sex freak, you have to remember that the most important thing is that she feels comfortable and safe to go at her own pace. If you are in a hurry or putting pressure on her to get there, it's gonna undermine the process, and it actually is gonna probably take longer. And this is not to say that you can't encourage her, that you can't give her gentle nudges. Hey, this is something that you deserve. I really want you to look at. Let's get you to the person that's gonna help you heal this trauma. That's all valid, that's all very important, but there's a difference between a gentle nudge and a push. So as much as you may want her to be a freak in the sheets, this really is about her journey towards feeling more pleasure and more fulfillment in her sex life. So even though you will absolutely reap the benefits of her progress, it's really not about you. And it's important to remember that, which crucially leads me to my 5th and final tip for unleashing her inner sex freak, which is check your ego. Here's the deal. A woman's sexuality is a powerful thing. And if you think your woman is holding back and you want to know what else is in there, be warned that you are going to encounter some surprises along the way. Like I said in my last tip, this is really her journey towards becoming her rawest, most powerful, most authentic, erotic self. If you're encouraging her along the way, just know that you have to be prepared for some unexpected preferences and requests to come up. What if your super vanilla girlfriend does a bit of digging and finds out that she has a dominant side? Will you be willing to experiment and submit to her as her possession? What if she has a pool boy fantasy that she wants to act out? What if thinking about your boss tossing her salad turns out to be the one thing that really gets her going? Are you going to be there for that? I'm not saying that that is exactly what's going to happen, but I am saying that if you are digging into the depths, you are dealing with the unknown. If you are going to interrupt the status quo, and I hope you will, you are going to have to man up and be there for her on the other side. So you can't just be encouraging her intersex freak to come out because you want double blowies from here till Tuesday, but because you are a stand for her total erotic liberation, which, let's be real, it may include things that you're not comfortable with. It may include other partners, non-monogamy, women, other men. It could include stuff that you just never thought you would do. Or she might just say, actually, I don't want to have sex the way that we've been having it. I want to have it in a completely different way. And that may be a way that you don't really want to have. If you're going to unleash her intersex freaks, make sure that you have it within yourself, that you have built up yourself enough that you can be there for her no matter what comes your way. If you're gonna let her out of the cage, make sure that you're there to catch her when she leaps. If you follow these tips, I guarantee that she will open up to exploring new depths of her sexuality. And if there's one thing that I really want you to take away from this time that we spent together, it is that pleasure is all about trust and safety. The more she trusts you and the safer she feels around you, the more likely she is to let her freak flag fly. Good luck and Godspeed. Remember to subscribe for so much more of this content about how to up-level your sex life. And if that's not enough, you can supercharge your journey by joining my private membership, High Performance Male, The Sexual Advantage. It is the only place where you can get access to me and an amazing community of men and fellow sex coaches who are all there to help you accomplish everything you want in the bedroom and beyond. I'm Caitlin B. Thank you for watching. I'll see you here next week.